I should be clear. Fort Mill now. Roger.
Welcome inside Jack 3. I want you to see any movement in now. I want you to hit it out. Roger. We're taking fire from airplane building 112, 113 on Broadway and Lincoln Junction Theater.
One year ago, on the 8th of February 2024, Helldivers 2 launched, and it quickly became one of the most talked about multiplayer experiences of the year. From server crashes to legendary battles, from controversies to community victories, this is the 1 year anniversary of Helldivers 2, and this is its story. Helldivers 2 launched with very little marketing and kind of low expectations within the market and from the developers themselves. But when the game actually launched, and only within a few days, it was very clear something special was happening. Players flooded in by the thousands, by the tens of thousands, and then the hundreds of thousands. Within 24 hours, Helldivers 2 topped Steam's bestseller list, surpassing Baldur's Gate 3 and Call of Duty. The player count surged past 64,000 on launch day, and then hit 155,000 by the weekend. Just weeks later, it hit 500,000 concurrent players. And by March, it had sold over 8 million copies. But this rapid growth brought challenges. The developers, Arrowhead Studios, had built a game for thousands, but got millions. Servers buckled, logging queues stretched for hours, and players really struggled to find matches. The quick join feature barely worked, and the Discord's LFG channels were overwhelmed with players trying to form squads, and I was one of them. Yet, despite the chaos, Helldivers 2 stood out in a market dominated by competitive PvP games. It offered a fresh, cooperative experience focused on pure gameplay and enjoyment. It was so easy to pick up and sparked a thriving community. The game's reach and popularity was totally unexpected. From my experiences, I posted a short clip on my Instagram account, assuming it would go unnoticed. I was a very small page at the time. Instead, it exploded, hitting 500,000 views. And from a personal note, that moment changed everything for me. It kickstarted my content creation journey. This game helped me gain 9,000 followers in a year, and it gave me the confidence to start my YouTube channel. So just before we move on, I just want to say thank you to Helldivers 2. During these early days, there was a single major order that brought the players together. It set the stage for community-driven storytelling that would define the game. This was the beginning of Helldivers 2's rise in cultural phenomenon status, leading us to one unforgettable battlefield. For those who were there and for those who remember, in those first chaotic weeks, one battlefield stood out, and that was Malevelon Creek. At first, it was just another automaton-controlled planet, but the jungle was thick, the visibility was low, and the enemies were relentless. The automatons weren't just mindless bugs where everyone else started fighting. They had tactics, they had defense, and overwhelming firepower. What started as an ordinary mission turned into a desperate war of survival. The Creek Divers became the heart of Helldivers 2 culture and a true symbol of dedication, humor, and the shared stories that made this game special. The stories and the memes and the gameplay from those early days in Malevelon Creek really helped to drive this game to that early success that we all saw. However, Helldivers 2's success from this early start brought new problems. Servers really struggled to keep up, balancing issues emerged. The railgun dominated while other weapons felt ineffective. Every patch in these early days sparked debates, splitting players between those who wanted fun and those who wanted balance. These ideas would set the game on a path that no one could really anticipate. And then, in between all of these issues starting to rise, came the PSN controversy. No! What started out as a routine announcement turned into one of the biggest mishaps in Helldivers 2 history. In May, Sony declared that PC players must link a PSN account to continue playing. thousands of players from unsupported regions were now locked out overnight, and the backlash was immediate. Within hours, Helldivers 2 Steam rating dropped from overwhelmingly positive to mostly negative. Social media exploded with demands for a rollback. Even the game's own community managers encouraged the resistance. As tensions peaked, Helldivers 2 was pulled from the sale in multiple countries. And in the midst of this turmoil, in May of 2024, the Helldivers 2 boss, Johan Pilestedt, stepped down as CEO of Arrowhead Game Studios and moved to the role of Chief Creative Officer. Although initially very sad, Arrowhead made this change to refocus the studio and improve its connection with the community after several problematic updates. The controversy then hit mainstream headlines. The pressure was too much for Sony to ignore. Less than a week later, in an unprecedented reversal, Sony backtracked.
Let me explain.
The PSN mandate was scrapped and was partially put aside to be decided on at a later date. It was a rare and decisive win for the players in such an important community. However, despite the win, this is when the Helldivers 2 player count started to fluctuate. Updates started to face mixed reactions. Some warbands were hits, others were flops. The Polar Patriots warband in May left many disappointed, while balancing patches started to draw criticism from across the community. However, in June, we got a hint to how good a developer Arrowhead was. They changed their core fundamentals and adjusted course. They slowed update frequency, prioritizing quality over quantity, and the result, the massive June patch. It fixed weapons, improved balance, and it restored faith in the game and the developers. For the first time in months, the community felt unified again, and the phrase "we are so back" became a rallying cry. On August 6th, the Escalation of Freedom update dropped. While exciting and new on the surface, promising fresh challenges and rebalanced mechanics, it was immediately met with a storm of backlash. Over 670 negative reviews flooded in within a single day, with players voicing frustration over what they called nonsensical and unnecessary nerfs. The outrage again spread across social media, with longtime players questioning the developers' approach to balance. Some embraced the fresh challenge, but others saw it as a haphazard shift that undermined their hard-earned progress. But Arrowhead took notice. The CEO, Shams, compared this to a similar update in April and promised change. It was now at this point the team decided to launch a 60-day plan to set things right. The game director Michael Erickson said that they spent some time listening to feedback, and he noted two key issues. Some balancing changes had unintended consequences, and the team's broader approach to balance needs to be reevaluated. The Chemical Agents Warband released mid-September and again was a mixed success. While some appreciated the new gear, others felt it lacked impact. The debate over Warband content versus free updates continued to divide the community, though Arrowhead reassured players that the long-term plan was in place. October saw what would be the major turning point in the game's reception. It was here where the 60-day update patch was released with a 70+ balance tweak patch that overhauled weapons, improved mission variety, and addressed long-standing community concerns. The changes were well received, and for the first time in months, Helldivers 2 felt truly refined. And again, the phrase "we are so back" spread across the community. With a clean slate, momentum was building again, and the stage was set for what was to come next in the coming months. November was actually the quietest month in the Helldivers 2 timeline, and it actually stood in stark contrast to the chaos of the earlier months. And this was because of how amazing the game was in this moment, but it's also because this period was focused on the rollout of the DSS, an ambitious system meant to redefine the Galactic War. The rollout of the DSS was a non-stop combat situation, but we faced very slow and sometimes frustrating storylines. Just as it seemed the DSS would bring big changes, a new major order would just further complicate things. And when the station finally came online, it often left Helldivers more vulnerable than empowered. Friendly fire actually increased during the planetary bombardments, leading many to question if the effort was even worth it. December brought a dynamic shift and turned out to be the best month in Helldivers 2 history. During this holiday season, Helldivers 2 took the spotlight at the Game Awards 2024, winning Best Ongoing Game and Best Multiplayer Game. It was a moment of recognition for both Arrowhead Studios and the community. After a long 11 months of highs and lows, the award carried extra weight. It proved that despite the challenges, Helldivers 2 had remained in the spotlight with tens of thousands of dedicated players. Through controversy, balance changes, and major updates, the game had endured, and the fan base had stuck with it. This was more than just an award, it was a testament to the game's lasting impact. And then what I think is the best moment of the entire year, the trailer, which was a complete surprise, which brought us the Amends of Tyranny update. Vehicles entered the battlefield, urban warfare reshaped combat, and the long-awaited return of the Illuminate faction reinvigorated the Galactic War. In a complete surprise move, this update caused player numbers to surge overnight, jumping from 30,000 to 150,000, proving that Helldivers 2 still had its audience. When asked on Discord if there was an end date for the support of Helldivers 2, Shams replied saying, "As long as people play, pay, and we can build a business case around it, we will support it to hell and back. If we can keep it going for 10 years, we will." This promise gives hope that Helldivers 2 is more than a one-year success. With steady updates, new content, and a dedicated community, the game has the potential to last for years. The Galactic War continues to evolve, and the developers remain committed to keeping the fight engaging. But as the game looks to the future, it also marks the end of an era. Johan Pilestedt, the man who helped bring Helldivers to life, announced that he will be stepping away for a well-earned break. Having worked on the franchise since 2013, he admitted that more than a decade of dedication had taken a toll. His departure is a bittersweet moment. While he leaves behind a game stronger than ever, his presence will be missed. He assures fans, however, that the team at Arrowhead will continue to push the game forward. Helldivers 2 is no longer just a game. It has become a shared experience, an ongoing battle fought by a passionate community. From a chaotic launch to major updates, from controversy to community triumphs, every moment has shaped its legacy. As we look to the future, one thing is certain. The fight is far from over. The Illuminate continue to manipulate black holes, bending the fabric of space itself, and the eerie pull of something vast lurking in the gloom is ever present. The war is far from won, and what lies beyond the void may change the battle forever. And I just want to take this final moment of this video to say happy anniversary to Helldivers 2 and its community. Thank you for every dive, every battle, and every moment. This next year is going to be as unpredictable as ever, and I cannot wait to see what is in store for us. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.